Anointed ones, welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose, and where this ministry believes that if your eyes have been opened to the dysfunctional path that is unsustainable and yet continues to be treaded upon by the overwhelming majority of people in society, and you refuse to join and follow the herd over the cliff, this ministry believes that you are amongst the anointed ones. This ministry believes that every single subject matter that's deemed to be relevant and substantive in the lives of anointed ones are worthy of being addressed, exposed, and or confronted, talked about, discussed, etc. This ministry further believes that when we take a holistic, or when you or me personally or the rest of those that are amongst our spiritual family members, whenever one takes a holistic mind, body, and spirit approach to life, to health and wellness, then this infinite power that we most commonly refer to as God's empowers us that much more greater, because we're showing thanks. We're showing gratefulness and reverence and appreciation to all that he has given us, a mind, a body, and a spirit. Last but certainly not least, guys, this ministry believes that every single good seed, every good act, every good deed that you put forth towards this ministry, you will receive an abundant harvest according to this universal power. It's promised you that whenever you plant good seed in good ground, you will receive an abundant harvest. Receive your harvest by faith. Now, having said that, guys, we're going to get right off into today's topic, where we're talking about the peacemakers. And for those of you out there that are truly my spiritual family members, you are amongst the peacemakers. You are truly amongst the anointed ones. So I want to start by letting you guys know that you're loved, you're wanted, you're needed. You are a part of a spiritual phenomenon that's taking place that transcends all of us individually and, quite frankly, all of us collectively. And yet you have been raised up for a time such as these. So I want to let you guys know that. And I want to let you guys know that when you walk in peace, that's a part of what's been prescribed and required of you as one of the anointed ones. So keep on fighting the good fight. Keep on enduring. The good book says only those who endure to the end will see salvation. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep leading with peace. Keep promoting peace. Keep nourishing peace. Keep advertising. Keep enhancing peace. Everywhere you go and in every single thing that you do or intend to do. Know that peace, K-N-O-W, is inside of you. And just like you carry around your blood that's within your body, your heart, your liver, your kidney, your lungs, all the organs, all the cells that are in your body, just like you carry those things with you wherever you go, you can't leave home without them. And you can't leave home without that peace either. You can't leave home without that Holy Spirit. Now, we all may fall short on days, in certain situations, certain circumstances, and perhaps even certain seasons of our lives. But this is the great workshop of our spiritual evolution, our spiritual awakening. So never surrender that peace. Never let the toxicity rob you of that peace. And whether that's toxicity is something that, because of something that you need to correct within yourself, so it's an internal toxicity, and we've all been there. Let's just establish that. We've all had to look in the mirror on our journey and say, you know what? That's not right of me. I shouldn't be doing that. And whether doing it is inflicting something, or treating somebody wrong, or turning a blind eye to something. We've all been there. So if that thing that's toxic is within you, or if it's inflicted by outside sources, never surrender your peace. Whatever challenges, whatever heartaches, hardships, disappointments, failures, mistreatment, betrayal, we must never surrender our peace. It's never okay for us to go out there and be less than who we are called to be just because we're going through something. We still have a standard that we have to stand on. And while we don't have to be perfect, achieving perfection does have to be our goal. And I'm not talking perfection in a manly way or earthly way or egotistical way. I'm saying perfection in that, hey, I need to work on this. I fell short. I need to make the adjustments. I need to continue to walk this out. The good book says that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall inherit the kingdom. We all know that that's the heavenly kingdom, and we also know that his kingdom will be established right here on earth. So it's the eternal kingdom, pardon me, as well as this physical kingdom. So let peace, along with all the other things that we walk in, respect. I lead with respect. I don't sit around and wait to see if you're going to respect me or to see if you're going to embrace me or not. Respect is a prerequisite for me as an anointed one, and for yourself as well as an anointed one. Leading with respect, love, kindness, and all the other things that we know are attributes of this thing that we most commonly refer to as God. That includes faith, courage, boldness, forgiveness, tolerance, mercy. And just so as it relates to today's topic, blessed are the peacemakers. Remember, this is a goal that we get to. And although a part of this goal are, some of the main ingredients, if you will, of this goal is the spiritual kingdom and the physical kingdom right here on earth, we must never lose sight of the fact that we have to go through what we have to go through. As I was mentoring someone the other day, and I was telling them that, only those who endure to the end will see salvation. And without making a long story, or without getting into some details that will make this a long story, I had to double back and make sure that they were reminded it's not just finishing the race, but it's finishing the race with all the things that he has given us. Can't just finish the race, but then along the way you got bitter, fearful, doubtful, angry, jealous, greedy, and all of these things, and then you cross the race, you cross the race at the finish line and think you get the reward. No. Those who finish the race means those who finish the race who kept intact the divine attributes that was bestowed upon them. And peace, as we know, is both a place and a state. As in a state of mind, a state of heart, a state of being. So I'll use that to segue right into what is one of the most potent things, and yet one of the most overlooked things that we need to be aware of when it comes to peace. Because remember, yes, peace. Yes, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall inherit the earth. We cross the line with all these things intact, peace being a premium, obviously, of one of the things that are required for us to have intact. When we cross the finish line and we have that, then we get the kingdom. The kingdom right here on earth. We enter into the kingdom, the eternal kingdom. But we also have to enter into this state first. True peace, because there are forms of what I could refer to, or one could refer to, as superficial peace. I can go out there and start an argument I can go out there and stop an argument or dispute between different people. Does that mean I'm a peaceful person? So it's a state. I can go out there and create peace in a certain situation and a certain environment just because I know that it's my intention that once they trust me, I'm going to get them down this back alley and do what I want to do with them. So just because I made peace and I said, okay, ain't no more beef, we squashed that, or I can make peace so long as, and obviously I'm not talking about myself personally, but a person can make peace just because making that peace gives them an enormous advantage on the people or person that they made peace with. That outcome was beneficial to them. It allowed them to get the upper hand and maybe subjugate others. So they're not really a peaceful person, even though they are what we call making peace. This is important, guys. And so while yes, we definitely promote peace in all of its truest, most organic forms and concepts, and in all the situations and circumstances, wherever we go, we got to remember this, guys, that the greatest of peacemakers are those who have achieved the ultimate peace, which is peace within. Not an outside expression or idea that led to peace, but those who have made peace with themselves. Blessed be the peace. Blessed be those who make peace. Making peace with yourself is the ultimate peace that you can make. Making peace with how he has treated you. Making peace with the fact that these people or those people are snaking you. They wronged you. Making peace with the fact that you made some mistakes, and if you could do it all over again, you wouldn't treat that person that way. You wouldn't walk away from your education, whatever the case may be. Making peace with those things. Because if a person hasn't made peace with themselves, then ultimately what they're touching, what they're making peace in, could also be skewed. It's like a grapefruit or a pineapple. That pineapple juice has to come from a pineapple. That peace has to come from a place of peace. Peace with the fact that, hey, as difficult and as challenging as it may be, may even sound weird. But at peace with the fact that maybe the medical report wasn't all that great. At peace with the fact that you don't know where your next dollar bill or spoonful of food is going to come from. Making peace with the fact that, yes, I do want to continue, or yes, we do want to continue to grow and evolve and, be financially successful and, be of a certain weight and a certain health and, have a certain family structure. And by the grace of God, we'll continue to strive for those things so long as He puts it in our hearts to do so. But even in the midst of going without those things or having those things and those things being dysfunctional or a source of toxicity, making peace with it. This is the ultimate, this is the greatest of the peacemakers. Anybody can go out there and make peace between two people that they don't give a half of a hill of beans about. Anybody can go out there and make peace in a situation that ends with them having the upper hand. Anybody can make peace in a situation to where if they don't make peace, then it could be to their own self-detriment. So they need to make peace. Anybody can do those things. The greatest challenge, and thus the greatest reward, the greatest of the peacemakers, is those who have and can and will and do, by the grace of this thing we call God, make peace with themselves. Doesn't mean, again, you become stagnant. Doesn't mean you don't want to grow. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that, hey, I'm at peace with this. I'm not worried about this. It's not freaking me out. Am I concerned? May I have battles and times and moments of worry? Of course. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. But those aren't my motive operandi. That's not the template from which I operate. These are the greatest amongst the peacemakers. And if you've ever heard that term, whatever I touch or whatever you touch is gold, that's because there's something within you. And in this instance, we're talking about that peace. But make no mistake about it, it's also when it comes to your love, your authenticity, your compassion, your faith, your forgiveness, all these different things. When it's operating in you, whatever it is, when you touch it, it turns to gold. If you're putting love in that situation, if you're putting courage and faith in that situation, tolerance, if it's operating within you to the fullest, then this, hence the term, whatever I touch turns to gold. So when that peace is in you, that's real, that's sincere, that's whole, then everywhere you go, anything you do, you're going to naturally bring peace. Even if it's in a chaotic, toxic situation. The only caveat to that, and this brings this point home full circle, meaning that why we have to make sure that we keep our eyes on, not in a selfish way, but in a very learned, in a very educated, or a very evolved way. We got to remember that the greatest peace comes from within. Because we're living in a day and we're living in a time where peace, real peace, is offensive to a lot of people. It rubs people the wrong way. That spirit, that gift of peace that you carry, you know it just as much as I do. You can walk into a room, into a building, a neighborhood, whatever the case may be, and all that's in your heart, all that's on your mind, all that's in your energy is peace. And you know that triggers people, a lot of people, dare I say most people. It sends them off. It activates those demons or insecurities that they have going on with themselves. And if you lose sight of that and you go out there and start, well, even though they're attacking you in the spiritual or emotional realm or whatever, as a result of your peace, and you override that and you go out there and try to make peace in all these other kinds of ways and areas, you could end up working against yourself because you're providing peace in a situation that thrives, that breeds, and that demands toxicity. So keep all of this in mind and know that the greatest of the peacemakers is those who can make peace within themselves. And then from there, everybody is presented with an opportunity to be touched and to become gold. To become gold. Because that peace in you is real. You've attained peace. In the midst of your own challenges, your own mistakes, your own chaos, your own uncertainties, whatever the case may be, you have attained peace. You've made peace with yourself. The situation, the cards that he has laid out for you, the path you're meant to walk, the people that walked away from you, the people that you need to walk away from, whatever the case may be, you're just at peace. Now, whatever you touch turns to gold. Outside, of course, caveat, outside of those, of course, who are just going to be turned off, triggered, and offended by your peace. Those people, those situations, circumstances, you just have to let them go on about their way. So this is what I want you to remember. This is what I want you to keep in mind. And it's kind of what's at the tip of the spear when it comes to the fiery darts that the enemy so relentlessly fire or launch against you and me. It's because not only is that peace, it's a real thing. It's not superficial. It's not based on, political correctness. That love that you have, that joy, that confidence, that wisdom, that humbleness, that patience. It's real. And in a world where most people are all about being fake, it's offensive. So know that when you create peace, when you make peace, and this can only come from this thing that we call God. This is what he means when he says he gives his children a peace that surpasses all understanding. You may not understand it. I may not understand it. But somehow in the midst of all this toxicity, man, I have an undeniable sense of peace and a sense of calm. And your haters, if you will, they see it in the neighborhood, on the workplace, and they just can't figure it out. Like, how is it that this guy, this girl comes in here, shows up every day just walking in peace, and we're throwing these fiery darts at him and her, and everybody's shooting their name through the mud and talking about them and mistreating them, but they always seem to be at peace. So whether it's them viewing you as such, or sometimes you may view yourself as such, like, I don't know why I'm still at peace. From a practical standpoint, and by all accounts, I should be chaotic, torn down, in despair, confused, conflicted, warring against people in situations, warring against myself, and yet here I am, operating in peace. So keep those things in mind, guys. If you like a follow-up, a message, a chapter 2 on this, reach out and let me know. If the Holy Spirit moves me to make a chapter 2, I certainly will. But that's what I got for you guys in terms of today, man. Remember, leading in peace, carrying that spirit of peace in every single thing you do, in every single aspect, your actions, your intentions, your thoughts, your endeavors, leading with peace. But then always knowing that the ultimate, the greatest of peacemakers is those who, by the grace of this thing we call God, have made peace with themselves by way of this thing we call God. So that's what I got for you guys. Let's talk about the ministry real quick. Hey, if you're interested in holistic, mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness, then I invite you to watch a video that's titled MBS Service Tutorial. That's going to lay out to you a whole host of different services for different aspects of you. There's some services that are designed to strengthen and nourish the mental self, others for the physical self, and then, of course, others for the spiritual self. Again, I invite you to watch a video titled MBS Service Tutorial. If you have interest, if you'd like to utilize the services, I'm going to leave an email link down in the description box for you to express your interest or follow-up questions. Please also visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. Also, guys, if you got value out of today's message, well, let me digress for just one moment, because I would ask that you guys do me a personal courtesy and watch a video that's titled My Testimony and Disclosure. Very important to me, very important duty that I must fulfill when it comes to honoring this thing that we call God. It's going to lay out to you the actual origins, not the services, but the origins of the ministry. And again, it's going to share my testimony with you. You may find it very inspiring. If you just happen to need a courtesy reminder that he's still on the throne, still performing miracles. Check that out. Hit the share button on that if you would, please, guys. And again, if you got value out of today's message, that's a clear upfront notification to you that others too are meant to get value out of today's message. So if you want to amplify the benefits that you already got from today's message, here's some things you could do to amplify, to increase, to magnify the beneficial results that you've already got, not just for yourself, but for the next person as well when they watch it. You're going to energize this message for them, and you're going to magnify the benefits that you've already received. What you do, hit the share button, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Doing either of those things or all of those things, just add more and more power, more and more benefits to yourself and to others. Now, if you got what you got and you don't want to increase that, then that's what it is. But if you want to magnify that, and if you want to make sure that the other person who watched the video when you share it gets even more, then do those things, please. If you'd like to make a financial donation to the ministry, and the same laws of seed, time, and harvest applies, I'm going to leave a Cash App link down in the description box. And remember, you can plant $1, you can plant $100, anywhere in between. Give according to your heart, give according to your wallet, of course, and give according to his will, of course, as well. Receive your harvest by faith in any area that you assist this ministry. If you like prayer, if you'd like for me to join with you in prayer over the harvest, whatever it was that you planted into the seed, that good, clean harvest, reach out to the ministry. Use that same email link down in the description box. But again, that's what I got for you guys. I love you all whose hearts are in the right place. Remember, it's a mind, body, and spirit ministry. Remember that regardless of what you're going through, you are still divinely anointed to make sure that your mind, your body, and your spirit remains as active, as vibrant, and as beautiful as possible. This ministry has been anointed to help you achieve such a goal. Reach out if I could be of assistance to you. I'm out. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back. Peace.